Imagine you wake up in a palace where every cup of tea could be your last. Your children are both heirs and hostages, and the only way to survive is to be more ruthless than your worst enemy. Welcome to Tang Dynasty China, where being royalty was more dangerous than being a peasant in a plague pit. Now let me introduce you to the woman at the center of it all, Wu Zetian. You might know her as the only woman to ever rule China as emperor, but her path to the throne? It's a true crime saga of murder, scandal, and psychological warfare so diabolical, it makes Game of Thrones look like a garden party. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why historians still argue about whether she was a genius or a monster. Born in 624 AD to a wealthy family, Wu Zetian didn't exactly start off life as an underdog, but being a girl in ancient China meant your best shot at power was marrying it or seducing it. At just 14, she joined the court of Emperor Taizong as a concubine. Did she dream of the throne then? Maybe. More likely, she just dreamed of not being poisoned at breakfast. Concubines in the Tang Dynasty were a dime a dozen, but Wu was different. She learned to read, play politics, and most importantly, watch, wait, and remember every slight. Because nothing in this palace was forgotten. Not the way Taizong's favorite concubine got that mysterious cough, or how a whisper could get you exiled to a nunnery, or worse. When Taizong died, custom said his concubines should shave their heads and retire to a convent. Wu obeyed for about 5 minutes. But soon, the new emperor, Taizong's son, Gaozong, starts visiting the nunnery. Turns out, he had a thing for his dad's favorite concubine. Awkward? Sure. But in Tang Dynasty China, Oedipus was practically a career strategy. Wu returns to court now as Gaozong's favorite. Only one problem. The Empress Wang and the top concubine Zhao aren't exactly going quietly. Enter palace intrigue. Here's where things start to get a little dark, and where Wu's enemies would later paint her as an absolute monster. See, Wu gives birth to a daughter. The baby dies suddenly, strangled in her crib, some claimed. But here's the twist. The accusations that Wu killed her own child to frame Empress Wang, they came from her political enemies, decades after the fact. Modern historians think it was likely propaganda designed to destroy her reputation. But propaganda or not, the damage was done. Whether Wu was a grieving mother or a calculating killer, Emperor Gaozong believed Wang was responsible. Wang was banished, then executed, top rival eliminated. And Wu? She learned that in the palace, perception was deadlier than poison. With her rivals gone, Wu became empress. But she doesn't stop there. Gaozong falls sick. She steps in to rule as regent. He's the emperor in name, but Wu's the one pulling the strings. Even after his death, Wu is still not satisfied with being just the power behind the throne. Because why settle for being the woman behind the man when you can be the man? Let's talk about Wu's most terrifying creation, the secret police. She establishes a network of informants that would make the KGB jealous. Her reign becomes a masterclass in paranoia, but also efficiency. Take the case of the Zhou family, powerful nobles who dared question her authority. One by one, they're accused of treason, executed, exiled, and erased from history. But here's the thing about Wu's terror. It was strategic. She promoted talented commoners over aristocrats, improved China's civil service exams, and ushered in a golden age of art and culture. Turns out, fear can be an excellent motivator for getting things done. But even her own family wasn't safe. Her 2 oldest sons, both crown princes, die under mysterious circumstances. Poison? Palace intrigue? Bad feng shui? Nobody knows for sure, but the pattern was becoming clear. Cross Wu Zetian, even if you share her DNA, and you might not see your next birthday. Her surviving son, Zongzong, makes the fatal mistake of trying to think for himself. Wu boots him from the throne faster than you can say, "I told you so," and installs a more obedient son. The message was crystal clear. I made you, and I can unmake you. I'm sure we've all heard that before. In 690, Wu Zetian takes the ultimate power move. She declares herself emperor, not empress, but emperor, the son of heaven. She even creates her own dynasty, the Zhao dynasty. Because why join the club when you can start your own? For 15 glorious years, terrifying years, the most powerful person in the world was a grandmother who made Machiavelli look like a Sunday school teacher. And she was good at it. Under Wu's rule, China expanded its borders, art flourished, and the economy absolutely boomed. She was brutal, yes, but she was also brilliant, as we've heard so many times on this channel. Question is, in a world where showing weakness meant death, was brutality just another survival skill? See, but absolute power makes you paranoid, and paranoia makes you sloppy. Wu's old age brings more conspiracies, more executions, and more enemies plotting in the shadows. Eventually, her own ministers, the ones who survived her purges, realize they need to act before they're next. They force her to abdicate at age 82, and she dies quietly just months later. Her tomb? Left unmarked. No inscription, no grand proclamation of her achievements. Maybe she wanted to control her story even in death. Maybe she knew her enemies would dance on any grave that bore her name. Or maybe, after a lifetime of words being weapons, she chose the power of silence. So, who really was Wu Zetian? The calculating killer who murdered her way to the top? Or the brilliant survivor who played a rigged game better than anyone else before or since? Her critics called her a demon, a witch, a usurper. Her supporters? A reformer, a genius, a woman who refused to disappear quietly into history. Maybe the truth is, in a palace where every cup of tea could be your very last, Wu Zetian made sure she was always the one serving the drinks, never the one taking a sip. She didn't just survive the deadliest game in history, she won it. If you enjoyed this journey through power, paranoia, and palace politics, smash that subscribe button for more royal true crime that'll make you grateful for modern democracy. Next week, we're diving into another vanished monarch, another poisoned dynasty, or maybe the bloody origins of a royal house that still shapes our world. Drop a comment and tell me which royal criminal you want to see exposed next, because trust me, they all have secrets.